Good evening. This is the March 18th, 2020 meeting of the Ames Planning and Zoning Commission. March 4th. I'm reading the wrong agenda. It's March 18th, isn't it? I'm going to rezone them all again. Let's start there.
Back to the future.
Let's start over, Matt. March 4th, 2020 meeting, Ames Planning and Zoning Commission. Introduction, Doug?
Doug Bergaller.
Carol Spencer.
Matt Converse.
John Emery.
Ruth Holstrom. Anupreet Minhas.
All right. Approval of tonight's agenda.
Move approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the March 4th agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Minutes for February 5th, 2020. Are there any corrections or if not,
Move to approve.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of February 2nd. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Abstain.
Abstain. 5-1. Public forum. Does anybody wish to speak on anything that's not on tonight's agenda? Seeing none, we'll move into item 6, rezone for 207 South Teller Avenue.
Good evening, City Council. Tonight, you're asked to approve a rezoning from agriculturally zoned land to government airport overlay. This is a city-sponsored project. We recently acquired this third of an acre site to allow for us to construct a future water tower as well as a pump station for our sanitary sewer extension project in this area. We think that the government zoning is appropriate, allows for the city to work with its unique utility issues and allows for us to work with the utility provider to meet the intent of the zoning code, but to deal again with different issues that come up with water towers and different things that you would not normally see. So we're recommending approval. We've acquired it specifically for this purpose. There's no other purpose for this property other than to support the utility infrastructure that's planned for this area.
Thanks, Kelly. Any questions for Kelly? Anybody want to speak on this issue tonight? Is there a motion?
I'll recommend alternative 1. Planning and Zoning Commission recommend that the City Council approve rezoning of parcels G and H, which total 2.27 acres located at 207 South Teller Avenue, from A, agricultural, to SGA, government/airport district.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Alternative 1. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Passes.
So let's move on to City Council for a public hearing on the rezoning at the end of March.
All right. Item 7, zoning text amendment for buffer yard landscaping.
I just want to point out this is a one-page staff report. First time in the history of the planning department.
Congratulations.
How could we vote on it with so little here?
I don't know. So what we're doing, this is truly a cleanup issue. We'd recently been working with the project and discovered that although we've been doing this for the last 2 years, we require a minimum width of 5 feet for a landscape planter. It was implied in many sections, even said you could reduce it down to 5 from 10 in certain circumstances, but it just wasn't clear that the minimum was 5. So we are asking to just add that phrase into the 29403F. It would follow what we've been doing. It's also been the minimum standard for 20 years in the city to be 5 feet. So any other questions about this standard? We're happy to answer them.
Any questions for Kelly?
I'd move approval, alternative one, that the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend that the city council adopt the proposed text amendments for high screen landscaping in section 29.4033F.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Alternative one. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item 8, commission comments.
No?
Item 9, staff comments.
Forwarded your comments from your February meeting to the council before their past workshop. We discussed quite a bit on the housing side, which was also leading into the conversation of land use categories to be mapped across the city. So the city council gave some direction to RDG on their preferences of how to approach creating a future land use map. We're going to go a little bit different route than your traditional low, medium, and high right now to see how it works. It's going to be more about kind of the intensity of use, meaning kind of a combination of factors about street systems as well as housing densities. And we'll see how that works in the first draft. Council will review a first draft of a citywide application of those principles at a special workshop meeting on March 31st, I believe is the date that they selected. So RDG is working on that at this point in time. So at this point, one thing that they did, I in essence, agree with where you had recommended in the new areas. They definitely are interested in allowing for a lot of options for different kinds of housing, and the infill is definitely something they're still going to be looking at in more detail as kind of the policy language is put forth to see how that looks, and definitely specify areas for change, and then maybe think about other ideas about how housing could be added over time. But it's not a issue that's going to be accomplished right away immediately in some of the existing neighborhoods. So that's the direction we got. And again, the mapping of the whole city as that first draft will be pretty significant. And then we should be able to move into getting a complete text document prepared in April and be ready for public review as a draft. And we'll definitely come bring the whole draft forward for you guys to look at when that's available. May, June is probably what I'm thinking is when you might see a complete draft to look at. You are likely to have a meeting on the 18th. Sorry. You might notice Metronet is on the draft agenda. If you hadn't been following who that company is, they're an internet provider that, they want to be an internet provider in Ames. The city had looked at selling a city surplus site on Lincoln Way in the Oak Riverside neighborhood through a special use permit process. The city council decided not to go forward with allowing for an antenna tower there to help with their broadcast reception. So Metronet is looking at a different site. So this is not what city council nor the zoning board of adjustment had seen before. So you're going to see a different site in a commercial zone, and you'll be reviewing that then for consistency with zoning standards. So just wanted to highlight, just in case people started to ask you, it's not what was in January. It's a different site.
Okay.
Not the old well.
It's not, right. Sorry, I don't know what happened. Nope. So it's not there. It's in the commercial site on North 4th Street.
Oh.
Next to the railroad.
Okay. Natalie, do you have anything? I think we're adjourned then. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Thank you.